Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. We continue on with our derivation. What does sensorality stabilize? Space is essential, sensorality is spatiality, and sensorality is essentiality. Looking to show the direct iteration of that syllability to establish our definition. What is a definition? A definition is a difference. So progressing our linguistics until we have an undeniable generation of a question that answers itself, or at least the answer will be sensorality. Continuing along, vocality, voices, voice, nice, noise. Orality, voices. What is vocalizing to verbalizing? Right, I use it very naturally, but I use it very cumbersome in a natural way. Right, verbiage or verbage. Can't think of the context in which it generates that right now, but it always feels very cumbersome. So what is the difference between vocalizing and verbalizing? Right? Verbalization produces verbs, vocalization produces vocality. Trying to generate some conceptual difference of ordered sound versus disordered sound. Sensorality is verbality. Orality is verbal. Verbs are vocalized. What is vocality to locality? Right? The closer something is, the easier it is to hear them. The questions are rhetorical. I just present the logic and the way it presents to me. Because again, this is all one big derivation. And so, just presenting it as it presents to me. Sensorality localizes. Orality oralizes. Obvious natural definition. Sensorality oralizes. Right, because again, sensorality, this is the word form produced by the derivation of speciality, right, what makes somebody unique, their voice. But at this point, we've developed our linguistics, so we're trying to find this, effectively, this fundamental inversion, but just regardless, this overarching completable syllability that's definitive, that produces our definition. Sensorality oralizes, locality is proximity. Sensorality is proximitality. Sensorality approximates. Sensorizationality is approximationality. So getting to what I was just getting at, the structure of verbality versus vocality. Verbs, to me, the logic there is you're trying to have order to verbs, making a difference from vocalizing, right? Any expression is vocal, or at least vocalization is an expression, but verbs are structured, right? You conjugate verbs. You have to have noun-verb agreement for a complete sentence. And so verbiage, verbality being structured and ordered, and vocality being disordered. And you might say, Brad, that doesn't really, I'm not convinced of that definition. Again, none of these things are going to convince you. We're just developing the linguistics until the logic is self-contained. But energy is to verbality, entropy is to vocality. Pairing verbality to energy, and entropy to vocality. What is velocity to verbality? Right? If you talk really fast, you can still understand me. If I talk really slow, you can still understand me. But the linguistic forms strike me as similar, and they are. Sensorality velocitizes. A definition is a difference. We started with that. Differentiability is uniqueness. Sensorality stabilizes syllability. Right? What does sensorality stabilize? Stabilize syllability. Are syllables oral? Are syllables vocal? Sound is the base of language. We have these same experiences represented by different alphabets, different sequences of sounds, but the overall logical meaning, like the averaging of what the independent words mean, are associated to, we all say the same things, right? And so are syllables oral? Again, kind of like what is a syllable? Is it the sound, or is it the linguistic, meaning the letters, representation? Regardless, just posing the questions that appear. It is what it are what are it. Just another step that, again, all of these steps to me on a personal level, there was no difference. It is all the same level of progression. I'm sitting down to put, these things into a structured proof. There's way too many steps to write them all down without emailing. I said the derivation of speciality, I would say, was complete, but showing the more steps to get to that completion. Because like I said, all of this reduces. We kind of questioned, are we reducing the logic? We're certainly producing a working definition. What is sensorality? What does sensorality stabilize? All right, speciality, literally special with an ITY, your natural tendency to differentiate for sexual antagonism. So we have these different gradations. We have an axiomatic definition, which I would say is the full thing. We have the working definition where it just connects to its operative word, differentiation. But because again, what something means logically is the overall collective sequencing of the words. That's why you can say all of the wrong words, but if your intuition's in the right place, people understand what you're trying to say. And so moving along, what is obligation to litigation, right? Litigation, lawsuitability, obligation, the linguistic form of obligation is very close to litigation. Litigation, mitigation. Sensorality senses obligation. Obligation is responsibility. What is responsibility to resistibility? A censor is a server, right? So now we have that, again, this server, right? This fundamental stability of two syllables. I think that's what we have to, again, show the cross-multiplying, because that's, again, a cross-multiplication that's effectively like a 2x2 matrice. Right? You take this element over this element equals this element over this element, and then you reduce them by cross-multiplying. So again, that's what we're doing overall linguistically. People have just never seen the backing, all of science that's sitting right there. But responsibility to resistibility, again, relating the words. A censor to a server, again, that's the direct form. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. Because the C and the S are direct iteration elements. You see that in all of the languages, or a lot of languages. But even the R to the N, that's a geometric relationship. The R to the V, that's a geometric relationship. Again, moving along. Sensorality is serverality. Server, severe. Sensorality is severity. Obscenity is severity. Censorship obscures obscenity. Sensorality obfuscates obscenity. Obfuscation confuses. Confusion is opaque. Is opaque unique? So now again, as you can see, these sly French word constructions are sneaking into our vocab. But again, that is where I'm at for the derivation today. My rights continue to be violated. It is profoundly and extensively illegal. As I do in every video, I can't begin to express how degrading, how disgusting, how vitriolically horrible it is. Just to be, again, you're merited by other people's actions. My life does not matter. Words cannot come out of my mouth, actions cannot come out of my body to make people stop abusing me to the point of prolific fucking torture. Nobody cares. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 of the United States Constitution remains violated. The Fifth Amendment remains violated. Anybody out there celebrating Easter today, do you feel like you're a good neighbor? Do you guys genuinely feel like you're good, hardworking neighbors? Do you think you tell the truth, right? Telling the truth would be spread the good word. And of course not. You guys are hypocrites to the core of your being. There is no love of family. There's no love of community. There's no respect of law. There's just a bunch of hypocrites that think they're like that. And then they hear those words out loud and they're like, that's not me. That's not me. And I'm over sitting here with grave bodily harm, and I've derived what you guys call religion as well. But again, words have meaning, and it doesn't matter how you present that. It's just all demonstrating inconsistency. I'm going to be tortured my entire life, and I continue to beg for somebody to treat me like a human being. I have no expectation that will ever change. I continue to document the prolific crime with every single video that I upload, again, talking like this, simply stating what it is. I was born into a world where nobody did anything in their life besides compete over games. That's their whole functional behavioral pattern is games, playing, and it's called the baby boomer generation. It's atrocious, it's disgusting, it's criminal. Again, I am sitting over here as a grown adult that has literally been tortured continuously since childhood into adulthood. And the people that abuse children in that manner cannot hear that verbiage because it offends them. So we're at a point where saying the sky is blue offends people, but at some point we have to cross that bridge of, we tortured Brad. I'm Brad. I'm the guy that just existed and raised my hand in class and asked basic, simple questions. And as you can see, from first grade up into the highest levels of the intelligence agencies, asking one simple question can change everybody's conceptualization immediately. Because again, I've been doing this proofing, derivation, analysis process my entire life. And I have no conscious memories of feeling safe, ever, to this minute of this day. I have no conceptualization of eating a meal naturally since I've been 19. Again, we covered that story legally. And there's no maturity. I wish I could speak freely. I cannot. I continue to document this profound duress, this profound abuse as much as possible. And again, I wish I could look into the eyes of the people torturing me and tell them what I would do to them, but I can't. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.